All right. Welcome, everyone. This is your commissioner speaking, and this is week 10, getting into the nitty gritty, the heart of this season. Ooh, ooh, that's good. Mm. Last week was nuts. Um, Everyone from the West won, except for the Finesse, and everyone from the East lost, except for the Smeagol's. And the team that beat the Finesse, the Quailmen, they just extended their lead in the South. They are now up by 3 games in the South, and now there are only 4 teams with winning records, all of which are 7-2. The Voyagers have now taken control of the West. Well, not really control, I guess, but um, you know, they are beating out the Finesse by points scored, but not that much. I think it's only 11 points on the Finesse, so it's still a very, very tight race between those two. And the Titans Elite aren't too far behind. They're only about 99 points behind the Voyagers, and so about 88 points behind the Finesse in points scored. The Quailmen are just running away with the South at this point. They've only scored 10 more points than the Heaters on the year, and the Heaters have only allowed maybe 20 more points. 23 more points than the Quailmen, but the Heaters have lost 3 more games. So it's I wouldn't say the Heaters are out. They're definitely not out. The Sharks are not out. Everyone still has a chance, I think, to make the playoffs. I haven't run the playoff simulators just yet. I usually wait until I think next week to start doing that kind of shit, to start keeping track of who's going to go in the playoffs. But yeah, as it stands now, it's almost a lock. Not yet, but I mean it's looking like the Voyagers, the Finesse, and the Titans Elite and the Quailmen have all basically punched their ticket to the playoffs. Now it's just a slugfest out there in the East. Who can win the East and get into the playoffs? And then most likely will play the winner from the South, depending on just how many points the Quailmen can score towards the end of the season. They are about 120 points behind the Voyagers, 110 behind the Finesse, and they're right in line with the Titans Elite, but they have not scored as much as the Titans Elite either. So it looks like whoever wins the West, or I'm sorry, whoever, it doesn't really matter. Whoever wins the East is probably going to play the winner from the uh, South, unless some other random fucking team shows up. I don't know who's going to do it. I mean, but the funny thing is, there's a world where the Washington Wise guys make the playoffs. They're 3-6, and there are only, yeah, there's a lot of other teams ahead of them, but they showed life last week, and they put a lot of fear into some people's hearts, I think, with that showing last week, and they left out points on the bench. Had they started the perfect lineup for them, they would have scored the most points that this league has seen ever. I think they would have hit like 180 or something stupid. So yeah, so the wise guys are not even out of it. Yeah, but yeah, we've got a lot of games going on right now. A lot of games are in the second quarter. The only game that has not kicked off just yet is that Quailmen and Rune Dogs matchup, Battle of the South and the East there. But let's get into the power rankings. A little bit of a mix up here. Coming in at number 12, you got the Miami Cartel. I mean, do I need to explain it? I mean, they haven't scored any fucking points. They've scored the least amount of points in the league. They've allowed a decent amount, but not even the worst. They're just fucking trash. And now they may not even be the worst, like, or the best 2-7 team now. So the cartel are just they've what is that, 6 straight losses for them? So yeah, they're just bottom of the barrel right now, not looking good, and they got a tough matchup this week. Coming in at number 11, you got the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. They're 3-6. They've lost a few straight, and these guys just can't stay healthy. Getting hearing some rumblings around the league. The owner is just trying to make a lot of moves, but no one is answering that call, or they're just denying trades, whatever. So Tampa Bay, they're trying to get shit done. They've always been able to kind of stay right there, but this year it's looking like it's just slipping away slowly, and they also have a pretty tough task this week in the dumpster fire. So if they're going to win, it's going to be now because who knows what the dumpster fire is going to do each week. Coming in at number 10, you got the Trenum Trolls. Moving up a little bit. I mean, they're 2-7. They've only scored 1,000 points on the season through 9 games, so that's under 100 points a game. No, I'm sorry, I can't do math. It's a little bit over 100 a game. Sorry, and they haven't allowed a ridiculous amount. They've allowed about the median, but this team it goes through Jonathan Taylor, like we've said, and now they've got a new coach, so who knows what's going to be going on up there in Indy. So this team's looking to build for the future, I think. But again, they're not out of it yet either. Everyone's still got a shot with just how top heavy this league is right now. Coming in at number 9, you got the Washington Wise Guys. I mean, nuts. This is the first time I think they've been in the top, not double digits, I guess, since the start of the fucking league. And coming off of last week, again, if we look at last week, he put up 144 points, Mixon, 5 fucking touchdowns, and his quarterback, Gino, he still put up a respectable 21 points, but he had Fields on the bench for 43. He would have had like 180 something points last week had he started him, but I think I don't know if he's putting him in this week. Let me check. He is. He's trusting Fields this week. He's got Detroit, so he's got a tough matchup. We'll get into that a little bit later. But hey, Wise Guys on the rise. I think they've won 2 of their last 3. Look out. They might have something brewing up there in Washington. Coming in at number 8, you got the Hickory Grove Heaters. And again, yeah, it is a little low for this team, but they can't get a win. They just can't do it right now. They're like the anti-Joes. You know what I mean? Like they're just not putting up um, they're putting up like a decent amount of points, but they're not closing games out. They're not getting these wins that they feel that they should be getting. And they're suffering for it. They're down to second in the South. I think they're still in playoff contention. Let me go ahead and check. If the playoffs were to start today, the Heaters would be the first ones out. It would be um, the uh, the Dumpster Fire and the Rune Dogs taking over those last 2 spots behind the 7-2 teams. And of course, one of them have to get it. Someone has to win the East, right? Someone has to. But yeah, so Heaters are down here, and they got to start getting some shit done, especially after that fucking trade from last week. Coming in at number 7, you got the Philadelphia Smeagol. Yeah, did some stuff last week. I think they're the only team in the East that actually won last week. They have what would normally be an easy matchup in the Wise Guys, but the Wise Guys are starting to surge here, coming on late in the season. Um, and right now they are losing to the Wise Guys, and it looks like it might be a close matchup, depending really on what Justin Fields can do. Um, but you know. This one's always been this is a tough one. The Smeagol's are just a weird team this year. They should pull that one out, but we'll get into that when we get into the matchups. Coming in at number 6, you got the Long Island Rune Dogs. Yeah, I mean they still have a very good team, um, but they've lost. I think I want to say 4 or 5 in a row or some shit as well. I think 4 in a row. I think they were what 4-0, and then I think they've lost ever since. So I don't know. I think the head coach thinks she fell asleep at the fucking wheel or something because I mean she was starting, a kicker that was dead, for 3 weeks and no one said a thing. I didn't even notice, until someone mentioned it to me and then I was playing and then I played the Rune Dogs and I didn't say shit and then she changed it out. So I don't know. But yeah, Dog's still up here. They still have a fantastic chance to take over the East. They're only about 24 points. Yeah, 24 points down on the Dumpster Fire, who are coming in here at number 5, leading the East right now. And everyone wrote this team off at the start of the season because we're just pissed off with picking this asshole because every time we pick him, he shits the bed, and every time we don't pick him, he wins. So I'm just gonna stop predicting his fucking games. But yeah, Dumpster Fire are leading the East, but they still have a losing record. The East is fucking trash. Yeah, let's keep it on going. Coming in at number 4, you got the French Quarter. Quailmen, 7-2, taking down the league champs last week. Huge game for them to just put a statement on the league. And again, this is a quiet team. They're 7-2, 3 games up in the South. They just beat the reigning champs, and it doesn't look like. And this is without Jamar Chase. And is he out for the season? I'm not 100% sure. I think he is, or at least he's out until at least fantasy season. I think he's out. I don't think he'll come back until the NFL playoffs themselves. But yeah, right now, the Quailmen is looking solid. You know, they still have Diggs. They're bringing up Jarvis Landry this week as well, so we'll see what he can do down there for New Orleans. Coming in at number 3, you got the Titans Elite. Joe. I mean, again, the best 3 teams in the league are all in the fucking West. The West is the best, and even the wise guys are starting to get a little piece of that cake as well. Titans Elite, again, 7-2. They're still behind the Finesse in points scored, and they haven't put together those just dominating matchups. That we want to see out of this team, even though they did beat the shit out of the Tiger Sharks last week, but the Tiger Sharks only put up 60. So I mean, even putting up 100 would have been a blowout, and they did put up 131. So respect there, but yeah, I think literally anyone would have beaten the Tiger Sharks last week. Hell, I think a fucking random backup fucking team, a 13th team, could come in, pick up guys off the waiver wire, and string together something better than 60 fucking points. But whatever. So Titans Elite didn't really impress too much last week. But hey, you can't choose your schedule. You can't choose the guys you're gonna play. So they're not gonna move up. They're not gonna move down. So they're chilling here at number 3. But we do have a change at the top, guys. Coming in at number 2, you got the LA Finesse losing to the Quailmen and losing that top spot, their hold, that once strong hold in the West, is now gone. It's gone. And I think one of the coaches of one of the East, I'm sorry, one of the South teams was saying to me the other night that the Finesse are going to start to falter. Their guys are starting to get a little hurt, get a little banged up. These guys are human. We can beat them. So it's not E-Man's belt to lose anymore. He is in the shit with the rest of us, and that means me as well. Coming in at number 1, you got the Vietnam Voyagers, leading the league in points scored. They have won 6 straight games, and they have another game against the Cartel this week that, again, should be an easy matchup, knock on wood. Um, but yeah, again, the top 4 teams are all 7-2, and then the rest of it is just the only thing the Voyagers, Finesse, Titans Elite, and Quailmen got to do is just win what 2 of your next few games. How many weeks we got left? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 weeks left. I think if you win 2 out of your next 5, we're all good. That's pretty solid, you know. Um, so it's just really the top 4 and everybody else, and then whoever the hell wins the East. And fuck, the Cartel have a chance to win the East. Wouldn't that be something fucking funny? But let's get into the matchups. Matchup number 1, aka the worst game of the week. You got the 7-2 Vietnam Voyagers going all the way across, the farthest they could possibly go, all the way to Miami. Just made that flight, by the way, but they got to do it again. But thankfully, the Cartel are just beaten. These are 2 teams on the completely opposite spectrum of I guess, the power rankings of momentum right now. The Voyagers have won 6 straight. the Cartel have lost 6 straight. So, is this the worst game of the week, or is this a trap game for the Voyagers? Who knows? As it stands now, the Voyagers are up 11 to nothing in the middle of the second quarter right now. But yeah, it still stands that the Voyagers should win this game fairly easily. But who knows what's going to happen in Miami. Coming in. Matchup number 2. Woo! You got the 2-7 Trentham Trolls going on out to take the now 7-2 LA Finesse. I think they've lost 2 out of 3, right? I think the Finesse. And right now, as it stands, this game is also in the middle of the second quarter. All of our games are in the second quarter right now, except again for the Rune Dogs and the Quailmen game that doesn't kick off until 1 p.m. Eastern time. And the Trolls are up by 2 touchdowns right now. But again, I don't think Finesse are worried, but they should be. They weren't worried last week, and look what happened. They weren't worried 2 weeks ago, and look what happened. So anybody's fucking ball game, any given Sunday, and the Trolls have come out, you know, and they've swung some haymakers at the Finesse, but they are in LA, so the tide is against them. Matchup number 3, you got the 3-6 Washington Wise guys playing the Philadelphia Smeagol's, and both of these teams have done very, very well over the last few weeks. So I think the winner of this game can just keep that momentum going. But I think the loser, I think it kind of, I think it puts out that fire. It just kills it, you know, to get, you know, 2 or 3 off out of 4 or whatever. You know, these guys have gone in the last few weeks, and to lose against, again, a team that's not one of the tops has got to be debilitating. And I think this is going to be a close one. Wise guys up 10 to nothing in the second quarter over the Smeagol's. It looks like everyone that's playing away are winning right now. So it might be the away team, whatever. You know what I mean. But as it stands now, the Smeagol's are just kind of holding their power back. It looks like they may surge here in the second half. Matchup number 4. What the hell? What's wrong with this color here? Hold on a second. My bad. There we go. Why is this color fucked up? Hold on. I know why it's messed up. You guys will see why in a second. Anyways, whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, production quality is great today. They're not 7-2. Fuck me. Hold on. Alright, I know what's going on. Production quality is fucking up today, guys. Sorry. Alright, we got the 4-5 Columbia Dumpster Fire taking on the 3-6 Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. And right now, the Tiger Sharks are the only home team that's up right now. They are up by 2 touchdowns, but the Dumpster Fire should pull this one away. We'll see what's going to happen here in this one. But again, the Tiger Sharks, they just have not been able to put up points this year, and the Dumpster Fire have. So we'll see what happens there. Matchup number 6. I am fucked up right now. I'm not even drunk. Like, what is going on? Alright, the actual matchup number 5. Now let me change this shit. Alright, this is matchup number 5. The last one was matchup number 4. The reason this is all fucked up is because of Joe. This is all Joe's fault for fucking not picking a rivalry game of the week, really. He picked one game for rivalry game of the week and game of the week. So I blame Joe for this shit, but whatever. I digress. Let's get into this. Sorry. Jesus Christ. Alright. So, you got the 7-2 Quailmen going up to play the 4-5. 4-5. They're not 3-6. Motherfucking Joe. Fucking Joe. Fucking. Alright. 7-2 fucking Quailmen playing the goddamn 4-5 fucking Rune Dogs. Alright? And the Rune Dogs, they look like shit compared to the rest of the league, but they're not awful. So that's pretty fucking weird. Quailmen look great, coming off a big fucking win. They should take this game, although most of their guys are out or on bye. So this could be the upset of the week, and it is a big one for the Rune Dogs because the Quailmen have a little room to spare. The Rune Dogs do not. They need this win bad, and we'll see what happens. Let's get on to the rivalry game of the week, Joe. There we go. You got the 7-2 Titans Elite taking on the 4-5 Hickory Grove Heaters. And, you know, when it comes to points scored, the Heaters are only a little bit behind the Titans Elite. But these guys just made the biggest trade of the season last week, and now they got to play each other. I didn't even put that into the trade recap last week, but that's just another thing that makes this trade so much worse for the Heaters. But again, I'm not gonna spend 5 minutes shitting on the Heaters again. But whatever. So yeah. So the Titans Elite. This is already a high-scoring affair going into the second quarter. The Heaters are actually up 38 to 21 right now in the second quarter. So just bombs flying. It's like a Big 12 fucking game out here. But yeah, this is apparently the rivalry game of the week. Somehow I would have gone with this matchup as rivalry game of the week. But sure, this is the rivalry game of the week. But let's get on to the game of the week. It's the same fucking game because Joe doesn't know who to fucking pick. But whatever. Thanks, Joe. You're the reason my shit fucked up. That's all right. Whatever. That's fine. So yeah, let's get into the predictions again. But thank you, Joe, for making the picks this week. Last week, Sam went 1-5. Haven't seen any picks that bad since the very first week of Tebow. And Tebow always makes shit picks in the first week because it's week one. You know who can do well. No one knows what's gonna happen week one. So you can't really fault him there. So, you know, we started out well, man. We were back up to 50% after P-Mans, and then Rico kind of kept us there. And then with Graydon and Sam, you know, the last 2 weeks we've gone 3-9, so not very good. So our percentage now is at 44% overall. I've got the picks next week, and I hope you guys didn't just hear that. Matt just sent me a party invite on here. But yeah, so I'll be making the picks next week. But here are Joe's picks. He's got the Voyagers over the Cartel. He basically went chalk. He kind of just basically picked the most obvious games this week because there is no game this week with two teams that have winning records that are playing each other. So yeah, so he went Voyagers over the Cartel, the Finesse over the Trolls, Smeagol's over the Wise Guys, Dumpster Fire over the Tiger Sharks. He picked the Rune Dogs over the Quailmen in the real rivalry game of the week, and also the upset of the week record-wise. And in the rivalry game of the week, rivalry game of the week, he's got his own Titans Elite over the Heaters. So I hope Joe gets all of these right because that's what he said he would do in the video. If Joe gets them all right, then we're back to 50%, which would be sweet. So we do need all these to go. No one's gone 5-1. No one's gone undefeated on the picks this season. I can't remember when has anyone gone undefeated on picks. I don't think so. Someone went 5-1 last year. I think it might have been Hunter last year. I think he might have gone 5-1, but I can't remember who it was. But yeah, so thank you, Joe, to that. And let's get on to golf. We're gonna make this quick. There is a new leader up atop the standings in golf. Dan is leading the league now with 14 under. He shot a triple birdie last week while I took the day off. You know, I shot nothing. I just sat there and sat in my cart and thought I was good, and I wasn't. So Dan takes the top spot at 14 under. I'm at 12 under. E-Man shot a birdie to bring him to 8 under par. Joe shot a triple birdie, but also a bogey in there, so he's at 6 under. Mandy shot a triple birdie, but got 2 bogeys, so she only moves up to 3 under. Matt shot a bogey, so now he's down to 1 under. Tebow, 3 birdies and 2 bogeys. If he would have just started fields, he would have gotten a quad bogey, maybe a double birdie. But he's sitting back at even. Rico shot a double bogey, so he's at 2 over. Graydon shot even, so he's at 2 over. Sam shot a double bogey, he's at 5. So that kind of sucks. And then you got P-Man, who did nothing, so he's still chilling at 5 over. And Hunter shot a bogey, so he is at 6 over par. And yeah, so new leader in golf. I don't think that's happened probably. I think I've been up at the top probably since week 4 or 5. So it's been a nice little run for me. And again, we've only got, I think, 4 or 5 more weeks on golf, guys. So get them in. It's still anyone's game, I would say, up until about maybe Tebow. But again, we can all see what happened. You know, we can all tell who's gonna win. Me. But anyways, let's get out of here, guys. Hopping on 27 minutes here, and he's back. He's back. TJ Watt is back, and it's time to wreck the fucking league. I did get a dumbass trade for this player. I'm not gonna say who sent me the trade, but you know who you are. Sent a 5th round pick for TJ Watt. I'm sorry. TJ Watt scored more points than George fucking Kittle last year. Okay? He's a top tight end, and he's at the defensive end spot. If anything, he might be most valuable player. Yeah, when he's healthy, and he's gonna be healthy, but whatever. Let's stop talking about me. Excuse me. Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna go watch this game. The rest of it happening in Germany while I upload this video. But cheers, guys. Good luck this week to everyone except the cartel. And yeah, cheers.